Hi everyone, it's Lisa here, and I have a super fast layout for you today. Actually, it didn't even take me very long to make. So here I have a crap piece of cardstock, and I'm taking this roller stamp that I got in a Studio Calico kit, and I'm using some navy ink and just going over kind of the middle area of the layout, and just going to use that as a background element. And I'm just using a ton of scraps from my scrap bin, and I'm just going to try and make some layouts with them. So you're going to find if you do this on your own, it's going to be a challenge to kind of find either pieces of paper that'll work or coordinate together, but it is kind of fun you'll get different ideas of colors that'll work really well together. So that back orange piece is from the Amy Tan Plus One line. That map piece of paper is from Alison Craft Webster's Pages. I can't remember the line, but it's an older one. And then that branding strip is from the Amy Tan Cut and Paste paper line. It's just one of the branding strips. And then that gray piece of paper, I believe, is from a Studio Calico, I do believe. It's hard to tell because I know there are some of them, but when they're in your scrap bin, it's hard to remember, which brand is which. So the other thing I recommend is when you are using scraps or pattern papers that don't necessarily aren't from the same line or completely different kind of tones to them, if you ink them up with black ink or brown ink or something like that just to define the edges, it does help them kind of blend well together. So I'm doing that to all these pieces, and I'm using black ink. So you can just see I'm just making a quick little photo collage. I'm not really thinking too much about it. I'm just putting my picture down to see what kind of spaces I need filled. And you can see I needed one kind of where that diagonal gray piece is cut off. So I need something there. So I found this other lighter gray piece, and I'm just going to ink that up, and I'm going to put that down. And then this is where I'm going to have all my photo mat. So it's so easy. Just grab your scraps and just start building layers. And it seems to work every time for me. And then I found this other scrap piece of paper, and it says "A Day in the Life of Me." And I'm just cut that out of that strip, and then I just inked up the edges, and I'm going to use that. And that also helps get rid of that really harsh line of that other piece of paper that's kind of on the right side of the photo. It had a little bit of an edge, so that'll help get rid of it. I go into my paper clips here, and I find this geotag paper clip, so I'm going to use that. And I fuss here a little bit with some other paper clips that I debated on using, and I just don't end up using any of them. So I only end up using that one geotag, and but I tried. I tried really hard to use more paper clips, but didn't happen on this one, but that's okay. So here I'm just going to start looking through some of my wood veneers, and I find this one of a lady, a Potty People lady, so I'm going to use that. And I debate on using this bike, but I don't believe I do in the end. So here I'm just going to put that piece down. And then I'm just going to look for some other little pieces. And I had this out from a previous kit that I had made, and it's the chipboard frames from Maggie Holmes. I believe it's her style board. And I really like the typewriter, and it fit in with my layout because I did some work experience in Winnipeg, actually at the Winnipeg Free Press way back in the day. And it was such a fun experience, and I stayed in Winnipeg for 2 weeks, and it was so fun. So I'm just journaling about what Winnipeg meant to me. My mom's side of the family lived in Winnipeg, so we did spend a lot of time in Winnipeg, traveling back and forth. And with the work experience and stuff like that, it always kind of felt like it was a little bit part of home, even though it wasn't home, but it was part of home. So here I have some washi tape, and I just want something to kind of ground my title. I just didn't want it floating in the air, and it's just going to create a little bit of background and a line for my title to sit. And these are some old cork thickers that I've had in my stash for a little while, so I'm just using them up and just quickly making a title. And I had to chop an Z, the bottom of a Z off to make an F into an E, and then I turned an M upside down for the W, so that's awesome. And for those of you who've seen, I think it's Canadian Tire commercials or Cal Tire or whatever it is. There's the guy, he's sitting in the airport or on the plane, and he's all dressed up in like Hawaii gear, and he's like, I'm going to Hawaii, and everybody else is like in parkas, and they're like, we're going to Winnipeg, and he goes, I'm going to Winnipeg. So that's kind of my title. It's like going to Winnipeg. So here I'm just gluing down that little potty person, and that is it. This layout is done. So you're going to see some close-up pictures here right away. So thanks everybody for watching. Bye.